Looking for magic cards? At flipsidegaming.com you can now use the promo code LVD to get a 10% discount on orders over $10, and starting from now you also get entered into the Guilds of Ravnica booster box giveaway, which runs until October 5th. Hello and welcome to the early access event of Magic Arena, thanks to Wizards. Let's jump into a draft here. That's a pretty sweet one to build around. What else do we have? Dimir Guildmage is pretty powerful too. Banrat's decent. Monument's okay. Commander Storm, okay removal. So in the previous draft we started with a gold card, but it was like a pretty medium one. But Niv Mizzet, this is a card I'm definitely willing to first pick, just because it's so powerful. And even if we commit pretty heavily to Izzet, if it doesn't work out, sure, we'll give up on our first pick. But this is definitely the type of card you're okay if it doesn't work out, because if it does, you'll end up with a pretty unbeatable card. Alright, what do we have next? Some nice Izzet flavored card here. Invert plus Invent. Switches power and toughness until end of turn. And this is a nice 2-for-1 at 6 mana. So, not a bad one. What else do we have? Silent Dart. Colorless removal. So best card in the pack in like a vacuum, if we didn't have Niv Mizzet as first pick. Like the Frenzy can be very good in an aggressive deck, I think, but this is a weird one that I think I have to play more with to get a better feeling. But I don't think it's going to be very good in our Izzet deck, since we'll have a lot of card draw, which makes us pretty bad. Otherwise, Notion Rain's quite good. Legionnaire if you're gonna draft an aggressive deck. There's some good cards in here, but I think I'm okay taking the Invert Invent. Like Invent, while expensive, it is a 2-for-1, and Invert lines up pretty well with a lot of the high toughness Izzet cards. There's also Gateway Plaza for fixing, I suppose, but don't want to pick its second pick. Ooh, it's a nice Hellkite Whelp. Always reasonable. Wall of Mist would also go well in a more controlling deck we're trying to build. What else is there? District Guide, very good as well. And not much else. So let's take a Whelp. Alright, so this is a reason to maybe want to splash white for the Giant. Other good cards include Inspiring Unicorn. All the gold cards are reasonable in their respective archetypes. Don't think we want to take a 3-mana 3/2 this early. And we're not really drafting in a Maniacal Rage aggro deck. Maximize Altitude could make the cut if we have a lot of instant and sorcery synergies, but... Alright, we've got an Izzet Guildgate, looking pretty tempting, as well as a Sonic Assault. Sonic Assault is kind of a weird card, so it's not really for a control deck, but more for a more aggressive burn deck that has a bunch of flyers to close out the game with. I think I'm more into the Guildgate, since we're trying to draft a more controlling deck, especially if we want to splash white for the Giant. We're just going to want the mana fixing. Alright, Goblin Electromancer is looking appealing, so is Sinister Sabotage. Disdainful Stroke, Sure Strike, also a very good trick. And the Equinauts, splashable. Not at its best in Izzet, where you don't have the most creatures. But it is a powerful card, and seeing it this late also signaled that white might be open. So this is a tough one. Electromancer pretty sweet with Invent, if it only costs 5 mana. Definitely a relevant discount. Don't think we want to take Sure Strike this early, since we don't have a lot of cheap creatures to go with it. and the counter spells are somewhat replaceable. And there's a chance we wheel one of them, although I don't count on it. I think I'm okay with the Electromancer. And this isn't very good in our deck. This is more a finisher for a Boros deck. So we could take Radical Idea. Don't hate it. The Phantasm, even if we don't end up with a lot of Surveil cards, is just a good blocker to have early. But I think Radical Idea fits pretty well into our deck. And also makes future counterspells we pick up better, since if we don't have to use the counterspell, we can still draw cards. Alright, so this pack has some red cards, but they're all for the more aggressive decks. The Punch, for example, I think fits better into a Boros deck than it does into an Izzet deck. But it could still be a good finisher if we end up picking up some wee Dragonauts, for example. And there's nothing really I want in the other colors. Street Riot, maybe for like a Boros go white deck, but that's not really what we're building here. So I'll probably take a Punch here over the Wave. But I don't really plan on playing it. Ooh, Muse Drake's a nice pickup here. Yep. And we wield the Silent Dart. Could also go for the Sergeant if we end up with a few gates. It's pretty powerful. 5 mana, 3/3 double strike. Especially if we can combine it with some pump spells or equipment. But I think taking a Silent Dart is pretty safe. We're definitely not committed to splashing white by any means. Alright, got a Wall of Mist back. There's also a Devious Cover-Up, which is actually pretty funny. If you end up with a deck that has 2 of these, you could just use them as a win condition and just prevent yourself from milling yourself. But I don't think we're going that deep yet. A Wall of Mist is a good early blocker that we definitely don't mind having. And wow, the Unicorn being here this late, definitely a sign that white is open. There's also Hammer Dropper, which is reasonable, but not especially synergistic in this deck. I don't think we're switching to double white at this point. I think we're pretty committed to Niv Mizzet. Blue seemed relatively open, and Izzet also seemed pretty open. So I think we'll just take a Hammer Dropper, since I think that's a more realistic card between the ones we have in front of us here. Alright, I'll pick up a Sonic Assault just in case. And I might play the 2-drop if we need it. Alright, so pretty decent first pack. Would have loved to have a few extra removal spells, maybe wield a counter spell, but can't really complain after opening Niv Mizzet and our color being pretty open. And what do we have here? Connive and Concoct. So for only blue, it's still a mind control for creatures with power 2 or less, which is quite strong. What else do we have? We've got a Sprite, which is quite good. Banneret is okay, but not the best in our deck. There's an Izzet Locket, which is also very powerful when we're trying to cast Niv Mizzet. And the Guildgate. So I think we're taking the Connive here, just too good to pass up. And we would love to either wield the Sprite, the Locket, or the Guildgate. And Izzet Guildmage? It's pretty nice. There's also Tajik. But again, don't think we're trying to be that deck. We could have ended up in an okay Boros deck by now, but blue seemed relatively open, and we just want to play Niv Mizzet. Let's be honest. So let's take the Guildmage and be happy. And then hope to wield the Locket. And we've got a Cyclops, 4/3 defender. Seems reasonable. Nothing else really. There's another Drake, I suppose. But we kind of have a hole at 3, so I think I'm going to go with the Cyclops, just an early creature that we can trade away. And then hope to wield a Drake. Alright. Got another Izzet Locket. We're probably going to wheel at least one of them. Muse Drake, also pretty tempting. And there's also the Blaze, 6 mana, 6 damage at instant speed. Gets a discount from Electromancer. Can also go to the face. I think that's the pick over anything else here. The risk factor, not very good unless you're like a super aggressive deck. Alright. So no Izzet Locket this time around. Not too interested in maximize velocity. This one could be okay, especially if we're splashing white. And if we're just blue-red, it's still single red to give +2/+2, which is not terrible. Other option would be Unexplained Disappearance. So Disappearance, if we end up straight blue-red, is going to be, I think, better than Integrity in our deck. But if we do end up splashing white and pick up some fixing, then Intervention's very good in our deck. Hoping to maybe wield the Guildgate or the Boros Locket. But a Locket for a splash color, not as good since it's more difficult to sacrifice it. So I think we'll go with the split card here. And be a little greedy. Alright, now I think we need to take the... Yeah, there's Guildgate, Lockets, and another Drake, as well as Leapfrog, all reasonable cards. Don't think we want to take the Locket too highly, since, again, difficult to sacrifice if it's our splash color, since we would need 4 red sources if we don't have any white. A Muse Drake is good. Already have one. I guess this can probably go in the side. Yeah, we do need some fixing. Leapfrog would be good. Drake would be good. But Leapfrog a lot better in the deck that's also playing Sonic Assault and the Punch that tries to kill the opponent very quickly. I think we're okay with the Guildgate. Take things slow. Another Cyclops, another Whelp. Those are the options. Well, I don't mind another Whelp. Do have a lot of expensive cards already. This is 4. Probably not playing Hammer Dropper. Yeah, we have a lot of 6-drops. It's definitely an issue. Maybe we just have to take Cyclops for curve considerations. So yeah, we definitely need to take all the Izzet Lockets we can find at this point. So this is an important decision. Do we take the arguably more powerful 5-drop? Or do we take a 3-drop just to make sure we don't die? I think if we get to the late game, our deck is pretty stacked already. So I think I'm gonna go with the conservative play. Alright, I'll take a 2-drop now. Alright, another Izzet Guildgate wield. So hopefully one of the next packs has an Izzet Locket. Could also take a Wall of Mist, since we already have 2 Izzet Guildgates. Don't think we're too interested in the Banneret. So taking another look. I mean, we have a decent amount of 2s already. Don't think we need to take Wall of Mists too highly. And I'll play 3 Izzet Guildgates. Alright, I think Minotaur makes sense. Needed some more 3s. Even though Sergeant would be okay, but right now we don't have any fixing for white, so we might not even splash white to begin with. Alright, no Izzet Lockets yet. Alright, there we go. And got a Boros Guildgate on the wheel, that's nice. Definitely playing one if we splash white. Alright, so far so good. Could use some more removal again. Didn't see many. Another Electromancer. Hypothesizzle. Although it's another expensive card. But it seems like a pretty good one since it also acts as a removal spell. I don't think we need another invent, so it's either the Electromancer or Hypothesizzle. I think Sizzle is too good to pass up here, and there's a chance the Electromancer wheels. Ooh, nice. Pretty stacked Izzet pack here. Direct Current, Crackling Drake, another Hypothesizzle. Have to take a look at our curve. Alright, so pretty high curve. Direct Current, decent removal. Hypothesizzle, very good removal, but expensive. Crackling Drake. How many instants and sorceries do we have? We've got 1 Radical Idea. 2, 3, 4. Not that many actually. But it does replace itself, so it's kind of like a difficult to cast Muse Drake. I don't know if we're too interested in a Crackling Drake. I think we just want a cheap removal spell, take the Direct Current. And then it's not impossible that one of the multicolor cards wheels, since how many Izzet drafters are there realistically gonna be at the table. Alright, can take Electromancer here. Can take a Lantern, which would help us with our splash. Don't think we need a 4th Izzet Guildgate. So Electromancer or Lantern. Electromancer synergizes nicely with Blaze, Hypothesizzle, and the split card. Both split cards. So it would be good in our deck. But I think we just need a ramp more, since it also helps us cast the Giant and Niv-Mizzet. Whereas Electromancer does not. Electromancer does help you double spell in the mid to late game, which can be important, especially if you're casting 2 instants and sorceries in the same turn. But I think just need the fixing here. Alright, I don't think we can go too deep here and splash double white. So what are we working with? Selective Snare. Again, haven't paid too much attention to creature types, but it doesn't seem great. So it's essentially like a 2-mana sorcery speed bounce spell for 1 creature. Fire Urchin is okay, but not exciting. I think we're looking at another Izzet Locket, just to help us ramp. And then hope to wheel one of those Hypothesizzles. Alright, what do we have here? Don't need another 6-drop. So it's either a Wall of Mist or Dazzling Lights. I think I'm okay with... don't we already have 2 Wall of Mists? I guess not. I'll take another Wall of Mist, I think. Alright. Don't need Street Riots. Boar is okay but unexciting in our deck. But don't think we want to play a 4th Guildgate. It's a bit much. So I guess we'll take a boar. And again, don't need more guild gates. Do we want an adapt? I guess so. Or a third locket. Maybe that's a bit much. Although who knows, maybe 3 lockets is a new meta. Do already have a chromatic lantern, so I don't think we need more artifact ramp. Deck is shaping up nicely. Probably not going to play any of the cards we take here. Third wall seems overkill. I guess adapts could be more useful if the board comes to a stall. Alright, wield, ooh, there's a lot of good cards here. An entire Izzet themed pack. Runaway Steamkin's quite good. Electromancer, Sure Strike. All cards we're interested in. Sure Strike, again, not at its best in this deck. So I think it's between the Steamkin and the Electromancer. How many red spells do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Quite a bit. Alright, I think it's a Steamkin here. We have enough ramp, I think, with a double locket lantern that the effect from Electromancer is less important. And don't think we're playing a second Silent Dart. Don't think we're playing a second Invert Invent. Don't think we need a locket. Don't think we need a Dazzling Lights. Let's quickly build our deck while we're at it. Have a better idea. Boar is definitely cuttable. So we've got how many cards laid out? 28 with 4 lands, so that's 24. So we pretty much have our deck. So I don't think this pick is too important. Guess I'll take a Dazzling Light since we don't have any. Yeah, we're not playing sideboard at the game, so taking sideboard cards is not too important, but every now and then you could use a disenchant. Alright, so didn't end up wheeling any hypothesizals, but I think our deck is pretty decent. Alright, so I need to cut 1 card. I think 17 lands, considering the 3 ramp artifacts, is fine. And then 1 plains seems reasonable. Although 1 plains makes it awkward for Niv Mizzet, so maybe we just don't play any plains. And then we have Chromatic Lantern and Guildgate for fixing. I mean, Giant 6 mana, and this one we can cast with only red mana. So I don't think that's crazy, but it is definitely pretty light. But I can just imagine having a plains and then having 6 mana, unable to cast Niv Mizzet. So, I think it's reasonable. Need to make 1 more cut. Could just be a Wall of Mist, since we've got a few 2-drops. Yeah, this seems okay. Alright. The board's also definitely one of the more cuttable cards, but we do need some creatures as well to trade with, and goes well with our Steamkin, I suppose. Not the best combo with Cyclops. Alright, Let's hope to cast some Niv Mizzets. Is Wall really better than the Adept? Unsure, but it seems like some of the Mentor cards can hit like for 4, and then an 0-5 is more valuable. Like if you're facing a Hammer Dropper, the 1-3 looks pretty bad compared to an 0-5. It's the Izzet Mirror. I guess they're unlikely to counter this. Hey, thanks for the Twitch Prime subscription there. W Vimes, appreciate the support. And welcome to the Loyal Legion. So I wasn't paying attention if they had double blue on turn 3. Otherwise I should have played a Locket first, but they didn't seem too interested in countering the first Locket, so I was like, maybe this is our opportunity to resolve the Lantern, and then we could have still cast a Guild Mage afterwards. Getting the Lantern countered means we won't be able to play the Giant anytime soon, so that was unfortunate. I was really hoping to resolve it. Sure. Opponent's got 6 mana, but no triple blue, so no Niv Mizzet. That's aggressive. Is their opponent on the more burn-heavy version? Weird that they wouldn't kill the Guild Mage with it. I think we're saying go here. Don't wanna run out the Guild Mage, instead we can just invent and get some value. Sure. That's okay. Alright, what do we get? Hypothesis all seems good. Oh, our deck doesn't have a sorcery. I guess we have the direct current in our hand. So normally you can search both an instant and a sorcery, but we have our only sorcery in hand. Maybe should have drafted a few extra sorceries, but oh well. Still fine. So what do we do here? Can Guild Mage plus Sizzle. They'll kill the Guild Mage, that's okay. I guess we should do it now. So we have to discard a non-land card. Could just discard a Giant since we're not casting it anytime soon. Could also discard a Wall, which isn't doing much. Alright. At some point we'll sacrifice a Locket, but ideally we find Niv Mizzet first. And of course we can deal 4 damage to something now if we discard land. Not sure about the main phase jump starts, I guess they're just digging for action. Alright, so... can play Minotaur, sack a lock at end of turn. And then the question is, do we keep land in hand or do we play it out? My guess is... playing it out is reasonable since we're about to draw 2 cards, so we're likely to find more lands. And if we sack the lockets, we also lose a mana source. I probably should have played a Silent Dart pre-combat just in case. But I can't remember many flash creatures. Alright, so the card we most want to draw is Niv Mizzet, and then some of the other expensive instants and sorceries. I guess instants, since we concluded we don't have any sorceries in our deck. Sonic Assault, alright. So the only damage dealt this game was Sonic Assault and then Direct Current to the face. So creatures haven't dealt any damage this game. Alright, not too impressive. Could have considered sacking the locket there. That was probably better. Kind of hoping to draw Niv Mizzet and then being able to still sack the locket afterwards. Alright. Do we direct current to courier just not to take any damage here? Or we could just sack the locket main phase. That's also reasonable. I guess we'll do that first. Missing the Chromatic Lantern definitely hurts. I don't think I want to mess around since their opponent seems on the burn plan. So I think every point's gonna matter. So let's just get rid of this. Konav should be pretty good against a lot of the Izzet cards. Can steal a wee Dragonauts, for example. Hopefully Niv Mizzet is not on the bottom of our deck. Alright, there we go. Sure. Alright, so we can Radical Idea to draw a card, so I think we'll say go for now. Keep Integrity, which can potentially save him from 5 damage burn spell. Get saved by our red pump spell. We have to be careful not to deck ourselves here, since it's not a May ability. Alright, opponent's just gonna scoop it up. Sweet, so he won the Izzet Mirror with Niv Mizzet himself. not bad. That was a nice animation too. And this hand looks pretty sweet. Let's see if we get to cast our giant this time around. I think I'm down with... ooh. Alright, change of plan. Was gonna play the Wall of Mist, but now we just wanna grow the Steamkin. Alright, not bad. So we could play Guildmage here, could play Wall of Mist. The thing is, we don't really want to trade either one for the Child of Night, but by playing Guildmage this turn we can activate it next turn to draw cards, so I think that's the plan. So we will take another beating from the Child of Night, I think, or we could just trade, but feels bad. We'll see what we draw next turn. Could be that we just play Wall of Mist instead. But the Dimir deck, not known to be too aggressive, so I'm not worried about taking a bit of early damage. Alright, I know what we're discarding. Alright, I think we're drawing some cards and then taking 2. Could also attack with the Steamkin, I suppose. Get into damage they're unlikely to block. So this turn we're drawing a card, next turn we're playing the Whelp, which can also ping down the Child of Night. So that's the plan here. Thought Erasure, it's gonna mess with that plan. So there goes the Whelp. Land in graveyard. Get back their disinformation thing. Yeah, we're definitely getting ground out of the game. I think the Dimir Izzet matchup is going to favor Dimir for the most part. Because of cards like Disinformation Campaign. Alright, so we want to activate this first, get a bit more info on what to discard. Not discarding Cyclops, so I guess we can discard the Wall of Mist now. Alright. So we can play Cyclops, put a counter on Steamkin. And attack. So we will always need to keep a land in hand, pretty much. Yeah, this card in a grindy control mirror seems pretty busted. It is mana intensive, but Ooh, Hypothesizzle. That's a nice one. So we can Hypothesizzle the Child of Night or the Snitch. Get in with Cyclops and Steamkin, or we could just point it at the wall so they can't block, but then they don't block with it. Don't think we want to blaze a wall. Seems a little drastic. I guess we'll get rid of the Snitch for now. It's too bad. I guess we'll decline. Opponent's gaining 2 and we're dealing 4, so we're trading 2 for 2. Is that even worth it? No, I think we chill. It's gonna be difficult to copy something expensive with this. I guess I messed up. I should have played Island so we could have still drawn a card. It's bad. Didn't think this was gonna happen, but... I kind of just played a land randomly there. The only card that can save us here, I think, is Niv-Mizzet. Alright, let's play a land, say go. And then draw a card if they don't do anything. The Guild Mage is somewhat keeping up with the campaign, I guess. Ooh, that's not bad. Not bad at all. So what do we steal? The Muse Drake, the Agent, the Snitch. I guess we'll play the Drake. If we steal the Drake, then... Could also wait until we can concoct if we draw a Chromatic Lantern. In case they do deal with Niv-Mizzet. How much mana do we need to copy this? We would need a total of 9 mana. 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're not too far from Connive with the Guild Mage's ability. Alright, so I think this turn we're gonna chill on the Connive and we're just gonna play a Drake and then activate Guild Mage. And if we draw one more land, we can connive with Guild Mage's ability. Is it Locket is interesting, but I think we still want to draw a card here. Alright, so we have a plan. I'm surprised they killed our Steamkin earlier instead of the Guild Mage, to be honest. Alright, we found a land. Ooh, and there's Niv-Mizzet. So many options all of a sudden. Alright, so I think we play Niv-Mizzet first. If they do have an answer, then we might want to keep Concoct to get Niv-Mizzet back, since that's probably the only way we can win this game. So that's the plan. Not sure if it's worth keeping cards in hand. Might need the extra mana. But we also want to discard to this potentially. So I don't think I played a Locket here. Although I guess if our opponent plays this and we also draw a card, most likely, unless it's a creature that surveils. It's hard to say. I think I'll keep Locket in hand, but we'll see if that ends up mattering. Alright, 4-5 gets in there. Let's not risk Niv-Mizzet. This seems acceptable. Alright. So deal 1 damage to... Could deal it to the Child of Night. Could combine our direct currents. Guess it doesn't really matter. Let's lead with this. So we can direct current again, get rid of the Drake. It's probably okay. Do have to be careful not to deck ourselves again, but it shouldn't be a problem. At some point we could also blaze with the Guild Mage, although that does require 30 mana. Let's just play the dart. Alright, so far so good. Ouch. That hurt. Just deal to our opponent here. Could deal 1 to the Snitch so they can't block with the Guild Mage, but they can just block with the Wall of Mist. Six. So 7 plus 6 is 13. 14. Don't think we have quite lethal here. Alright, let's just attack. Probably can't go wrong. Opponent gets their enchantment back. And they get to ping us. Don't know if we should keep this as a burn spell to go face or kill the giants. Probably doesn't matter too much. Can always block and then use a dart. Could also use a boar next turn for extra damage. A lot of options. I guess we'll play the locket in case we need extra mana. Can always draw with the guild mage. And can still cast our blaze if we have to. So right now the plan is to use a dart end of turn on the giant. Or we could draw with the guild mage. Nah, we'll just discard the boar here, I think. Although the boar could let us kill them next turn. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seven, 8 plus 6 would be lethal. I think we could actually... It's tough. Let's draw a card in response. Since I don't want to end up discarding Connive and then them finding a way to deal with Niv Mizzet and then us needing the Lantern plus Connive plan or a Concoct plan. So Guildgate can go. And a Mystic. I don't think that's gonna save them since we can always ping down the token. Alright, so we should have it here. So if they cast an instant or sorcery, we can blaze their face and then with a ping from Niv Mizzet kill the bird. Depends of course what kind of instant or sorcery it is. Necrotic Wound with 4, so still deal 4 to them. I guess we should still get there. So that's 4, so 1, 4, plus 7 is 11. So that resolves. Deal damage. And a blaze to the face. The face is a place for the blaze. Alright, got there. Well, Niv Mizzet saves the day once again. Was looking pretty bad there for a second. Alright, so we're 2-0. Alright, what to discard? Do we discard the giant again? I don't think so. I don't think the wall's gonna be very good here. Ooh, hello Niv. I think we just want to ramp. Make sure we can play the Drake, hit our land drops, get to Niv Mizzet and win the game. Well, our Wall of Mist looking a little better now, but could draw into a Guild Gate here. Nice, so next turn we can go Steamkin into Minotaur. And then we need to draw an island. I don't think I want to risk going for the trick into 5 open mana. Ooh, look at that, white mana, finally. So Steamkin into Minotaur it is. Might as well get in there. Can even cast their intervention as a nice lightning helix. If they make us discard again, I'm gonna be a little sad, since all our cards are good. Alright, sweet. Think we probably just Niv Mizzet here. We even have a pump spell to save him from damage-based removal. There he is, chilling. And I think we probably just get in for 1. Don't want to attack with the 3/3 when we can make him into a 4/4 soon. Could trade Minotaur for Centipede, but that seems like a waste. Let's just get in with our flyers. Oh, it's too bad. Alright. Price of Fame, pretty fitting here. I guess we could Integrity just to draw a card, but I think the intervention side's going to be pretty useful. Can discard a mountain. Yeah, we need Chromatic Lantern and then our reanimation spell. This is quickly becoming one of the more annoying cards to play against. Uh-oh. Alright, so now what? Pumps the Steamkin. Alright, that's good for us. Pretty weird that they played a Child of Night into the Giant here. But that works for me. Alright, so what's our plan? Opponent could try to double block the Giant. They could have a pump spell, I suppose, or the bounce spell for 1 and a blue. So we could go Boar, pump the Steamkin. So it attacks past the wall. Although I guess with the 1 damage it attacks past the wall anyway. So we could pump the Minotaur instead. I don't think we have to actually play anything pre-combat since we've got good attacks across the board. Alright, so we're likely to draw land here. Oof. Well, we did draw land, but 2 guild gates. Yeah, I was hoping we could still play the Cyclops here, but I guess it wasn't going to attack anyway. Don't really want to get rid of the counters. Alright, let's see here. Can pump the Giant. If they try to double block, we at least get to kill both. That's reasonable. And then we can still play Cyclops, and then next turn enable Cyclops with Radical Idea. Alright, I think that's a plan. I suppose we were going to kill them anyway with the 1 damage, but if they had an instant speed surveil, maybe not. Opponent down to 4. We'll keep a land in hand for a jump start. We're in pretty good shape here. Okay. Guess we weren't the only ones today with that card. It's fine though. I'll keep it in hand as an enabler for the Cyclops. Alright. Alright, didn't need Nifmis at this game. Although he still drew us an extra card. Sweet. So we're 3-0 with Niv Izzet. The sand seems great. All right, turn to scout. Ooh. Steamkin has been pretty decent so far. 2 mana 4/4 after a couple turns. Haven't used the mana ability yet, but I could see it coming up. This connive is looking good. Alright, so opponent's got a trick. Question is, I guess for single white it's either 2 damage to a blocker or +2/+2. How much do we care about the Cyclops? Next turn we're casting Connive, which means that the Cyclops could attack for 4. I think we actually take it here. Normally I would insta-block, but we also have a Wall of Mist that can block, so the 2 damage or +2 pump spell wouldn't make a difference. Hunted Witness instead. That's a little annoying, since that blocks our Cyclops and Steamkin. Think we still go for it here. I think the first strike is probably more relevant than the flyer that costs 2 mana to activate when we have Niv Mizzet coming up. No blocks with the Witness, that's surprising. So we could Wall of Mist plus Radical Idea. Could also bore targeting Stalwart and then Mentor onto the Steamkin. That sounds pretty sweet since it'll be both 4 power. And next turn we could potentially use a Steamkin to ramp out Niv Mizzet if we want to. Ooh, hello. This is a tricky turn. Would need a little more time to fully grasp the situation, but my guess is doing this and then having inverted instant speed is going to be useful. Alright, it was a righteous blow, so that was it instead of the +2/+2, that's fine. And our opponent scoops it up. Sweet. Well, a mind control and a Niv Mizzet later, and we beat the mono-white aggro deck. Surprise, surprise. And by mono-white aggro, I presume they were playing a second color, but... Alright, 4-0. And this hand seems great. Even got our Chromatic Lantern for once. So we might be able to cast the second half of Concoct. Alright, it's gonna be a rematch, but this time they've got a better start. Alright, Lightning Helix I hear is pretty good against aggro decks. And so is this one. Don't think we have to pull the trigger yet on any of these. Just play a Lantern for now. And say go. Alright, no 3-drop. That's good. So this turn we could go Direct Current the Hawk, and then Radical Idea discarding land. Don't hate that. They could have the pump spell to save it, I suppose. But last time they didn't have the pump spell, they had a Righteous Blow. I think we tried. Ooh, that's a scary one. Alright. Wall of Mist is a good answer. But Mentor is going to be an issue. So we might just want to kill it while we can with the intervention. So it doesn't gain us any life, but that's fine. Yeah, I think that's probably safer here. Something I didn't consider is if you combine Connive with instant that gives -3/-0, you could shrink down an opposing bomb and then steal it with Connive. Well, Unicorn is a pretty good target for Connive, not gonna lie. So let's try to steal that one. Is it better than waiting on this? Yeah, feels like we just want to get rid of the Unicorn. Our only relevant creatures Niv Mizzet, so... I think playing out a wall's okay. Could discard it to the jumpstart cards, but feels like an 0-5 wall is going to be useful this game. Alright. I'm expecting a Righteous Blow. Nope. So I guess we're attacking. And then playing some creatures. They might be flooding out a bit. That's not bad. So they can get in for 4. Ooh, that's a nice one. Hypothesis. So we'll do that first, see what we draw. Get rid of this guy. Oh, I messed up. I thought we were dealing damage with the Hypothesis, but that was a Minotaur. Oh well. Probably don't need a Cyclops here. Oh well, I messed up here. I should have killed the 4-3 and then prevented the 3-3 from blocking. Do we care if the 3-3 blocks? Not really. But I guess we'll kill it anyway. Nah, could come back to bite us. I think we killed this anyway. Give our opponent a little oops. That's fine. Say go. And then we can invent, but we already drew our direct current, so we don't have any sorceries left. Legionnaire dies to our current. Yeah, our deck should have had some more sorceries. Another Vigil. Opponent sure likes that card. Fair enough. So now what? We can find our 6 damage burn spell. But we might be dead by then. Well, that also works. Whereas if we invent for an answer, then we're dead to a pump spell. So I guess we're attacking first. If they block, we can just direct current them. I guess we're 1 mana short of being able to switch power and toughness. So it doesn't quite work out. Since we need all our mana. I mean, I'm still fine with the trade here. Yeah, should be pretty close to winning the game here. Can current the hammer dropper and play the boar. I guess we're 1 mana short. No, actually we can do both and then discard Drake. Don't really need it. We're 1 point short of just killing our opponent with direct current. Discard Drake. Alright. Sweet. That was a close call. We drew pretty well. Niv Mizzet once again showed up. Alright, sweet. So we're 5-0. Niv Mizzet definitely delivered. Yeah, still tempted to keep. We're on the draw. And if we do find blue mana, this hand's okay. Hybrid cards are nice. They make it so color screw isn't a thing. Alright, up against and there's Niv Mizzet again. Up against another Dimir deck. Yeah, in my opinion, they might as well make hybrid cards almost as much as they make multicolor cards. But they might have their reasons why they don't. No attacks, and there's our blue mana. Alright. The art on the Minotaur is pretty sweet too. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, we just need to draw 2 islands in a row and we're all fine. Probably gonna play the Drake next turn, so we hit our land drops. That's an aggressive Price of Fame. But it does let them draw a card with the agent, I suppose. Alright, there's island number 1. Can even play Drake first in case we draw into a guild gate. I think that's okay. We could also go... Yeah, this is probably fine. Could have also gone Wall of Mist plus Electromancer, but it seems kind of weak. Alright, not quite. It's a land, but not a blue one. So we can still block the agent if they surveil. I think I'll block anyway. Yeah, this card seems pretty good. Like, if Planeswalkers weren't a thing, this is probably better than Vraska's Contempt. Surveil 2 seems more relevant than Exile most of the time. New Blood Operative. This is a weird one. So if they surveil, they can return it, paying 3 life, and it's a 3/1 lifelink. And it exiled our Cyclops. Alright. So we either play Guildgate and then we go Wall of Mist Electromancer, or we go Bore on the Drake and then we can still play a Wall of Mist or an Electromancer. I think I want to hedge in case we top deck a Giant and just go double 2-drop here. Alright, we're just 1 island away from glory. Hopefully no hand disruption from the opponent here. Electromancer down, that's fine. Opponent's got 2 cards left. And they're gonna go on the unblockable plan. Pretty effective with the Blood Operative. But Niv Mizzet can kill the operative pretty easily. Come on, land. Island. Alright, not quite. Can draw a card and then maybe play a Boar. Alright, that also works. And then we can still flashback Radical Idea, discarding land. Alright, we've got a plan. Although we could also play the land so we can play Niv Mizzet and... I guess we would need another blue source to jumpstart this, so I think this is fine. Alright, make it unblockable. So our opponent's on the unblockable lifelink plan, which won't match up very well if they don't have an answer for Niv Mizzet, so don't hate this. Niv Mizzet can be countered, so counterspell's not a concern. Make sure not to discard Niv Mizzet here. We've had a few misclicks today already. Alright, just a mountain and more mountains. Alright, let's just play Niv. Opponent can target it with a counterspell, it just won't work. So if they don't read the card carefully, they might be in for a surprise. And I think we'll play the land since we might sacrifice a Locket next turn. Alright. Look at how smug he is. Yes, Niv Mizzet is pretty smug. Alright. Make their creatures unblockable while they still can. We will need to find an answer to the Adept since we are taking quite a bit of damage. Well, that works. So you die. And now we can go on a beatdown plan. Do we blaze the Adept right now? I think so. Don't have many more efficient answers. And I just don't want to risk taking any damage here. And then we'll deal 1. And then I think we just attack with Niv Mizzet, although I guess it doesn't really matter if they give it Death Touch, then I'll block with a wall. Alright, and play a land, play Locket. And then next turn we can sack one of the Lockets to draw some more cards. Alright, so we're turning the corner. And if they don't find an answer soon, Niv Mizzet is gonna run away with the game. Although I guess he's technically flying away with the game. Ooh, Dimir Guildmage. Could definitely do some damage. Alright, that's a brick. And that's not a brick. Alright, sweet. Yeah, Niv Mizzet has a lot of text. Alright, so probably just wanna unload. So now we can play the boar, target the Drake, get in for a bunch of damage, and then keep the Hypothesizzle as backup. The new timers, I think, are a little too fast, but devious cover-up. Sure. Puran probably had this in hand when we cast Niv Mizzet. But having Niv Mizzet against a control deck is like being pre-sideboarded. Alright, let's play a boar. Not at risk of decking anytime soon. Do they have the removal spell for cards in graveyard? 2, 3. I guess they only have 2 creatures in graveyard, so they couldn't even kill the Drake. Alright, so next turn we might be able to kill him. So far so good. At 5 life, feel pretty safe against Dimir. In before they go like mountain into some lava axe variant. Chromatic lantern into who knows what else. Alright, so can take out the snitch here with locket draws. Don't give him the opportunity to counter anything with the Surveil counterspell. And we can still sizzle if we want to. I think we just attack. That works. Alright, now we can go for it. Alright, we got there. That should about do it. Sweet. Niv Mizzet steals the show once again. This sounds great. Which Guildgate art is better? It's pretty close. Think I'm okay not playing Guildmage on 2 so we can play Locket. Although, I guess doesn't make a huge difference if we draw land and we're still good. Alright, let's get some early damage in, I guess. Ooh, it's a Guildmage standoff. Which one's better? I guess we can just steal the Guildmage with our Connive, so we don't want to offer the trade. Let's get this Guildmage out of here. Alright, so now we have a whole lot of abilities available. So this is going to be a tricky game, since we have so many options. So can't use a Surveil, can keep stuff tapped down, can draw cards, but I think we're just going to try and curve out. So we can play the boar. And get in there. And once we empty our hand, we still have all the Guild Mage activations. Opponents struggling to hit their land drops, despite the Surveil. Alright, that's a good one for next turn. I think we're fine trading. That way they can't double block the boar. Alright, so next turn we can sizzle something, or we can go Cyclops plus Minotaur and then sizzle the turn after to enable Cyclops. We'll see. That's okay. So here we could keep up sizzle in case of a double block scenario. Or we just attack with boar and Drake this turn. It's probably better. And then just play a double 3-drop, and then next turn it's gonna hurt for the opponent. Am I going to make a patron for Arena, or am I going to focus on Magic Online only? Good thing you asked, since I'm just about to make a pretty big update to the YouTube channel and the Patreon. So I've put up a vote on the Patreon page to ask people how they wanted to proceed now with Arena being a thing. And we've been getting a lot of interesting discussions, and it looks to be that we're just gonna move most of the gameplay onto Magic Arena, but we're gonna keep a weekly Modern video for people that are interested in Modern. So a lot of changes coming up on the channel, and I'll make sure to update the Patreon page as soon as possible. So the short answer is yes. So expect a lot of Arena content on the YouTube channel going forward. Yeah, I'm holding the island for discard effects. There's quite a few in Dimir. There's the enchantments, there's... what are we sacking? Feels weird to sacrifice a Guild Mage, but might be the way to go. Yeah. Seems reasonable. Yeah, so there's the misinformation enchantment that makes you discard. There's the split card you see here that makes you discard a card. So those are the main effects I'm playing around. This is good too, but I think we want to handle with a sizzle. Alright, so this is unable to block. And we'll discard a dart and deal damage to this guy. And that should do it. Sweet. Alright, got the squeaky clean 7-0. And for one game we didn't need Niv Mizzet. Alright, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this gameplay. And as always, have a nice day. I also want to thank all my patrons for being part of the channel, and you can become a patron yourself today and decide the topic of future videos over at patreon.com/LegenVD.